What's up, everybody? We might be in the middle of a sports break with no MLB and no WNBA, but that does not mean that there are not any prize picks plays for us to hammer. So, in this video, what I'm going to be doing is giving you 6 plays that I like on prize picks, putting them into an entry. When we get all 6 of these to cash, we will 25x our money, turning 20 bucks into 500 bucks. As for me, my name is Matt Modi on behalf of DGF Fantasy. You can find me on social media at my Twitter handle, Jedi Modi. And let's chat about prize picks. So a couple things to note before we get into the individual entries that I have here, the actual plays themselves. Number one, when it comes to it, the best value, the best bang for your buck when you are using prize picks is to play 5 or 6 pick flex options. So if there are 6 plays that I like, and I used the DFS optimizer to find all 6 of these plays, we see a lot of green on the screen here. So when I find 6 plays that I like, I'll play a 6-leg entry. If there are only 5 at one given time that I like, I'll play a 5-play entry. And obviously, you can play multiple. You could have multiple 6, multiple 5 legs, whatever you want to do. But just in terms of value itself, 5 or 6 pick options are the best bang for your buck. And then when it comes to actually finding plays to put into prize picks, one key concept to understand when it comes to prize picks, and a lot of these DFS companies, not every single one, but a lot of them are the similar, where the payouts are the exact same no matter what plays you add. So we see this last play here. I'm taking less than 3 map 1 kills. We see the payouts, right? 25x, 20 to win 500. Well, what happens if I change this to more than? Same exact payout. 6 correct to 25x our money, 20 bucks turns into 500. So when you are using prize picks, the strategy here, and I know this is going to sound like Captain Obvious, but you're literally just looking for plays that are likely to hit. Now, DGF calculates the percent odds to hit you see in this column here. When you're using prize picks, you generally want to stay above the 54.2% range. You see it starts to shade colors at about 54.4%. So if you could stay above, actually it's 54.4%, that number, you're generally good to go. Now, if we see a play up here that's like 58% chance to hit, that will allow you to play something that's a little more in the yellow range because you just want your average percent odds to hit to be above that 54.5 roughly percent number. But I know it sounds obvious, like, oh, you're looking for plays that are likely to hit. But if you think about it, when you're using FanDuel and when you're using DraftKings, you're looking for value across the sports books, right? If these sports books deem a play likely to hit, they're going to charge more money for it. And that's not what PrizePicks does. So that's why the strategy is different when you are using PrizePicks. So to actually use the DFS optimizer, I talked a little bit about the percent odds to hit, but we can walk through it real quick. It's pretty easy. They make it pretty seamless for you to use the optimizer. The player name is exactly what it sounds like on the far left here. That's just who you're playing. So we see Fudge, Balulu, Cabo Chart, a lot of funny names when you're playing esports. Then the stat, so what you're actually betting on, whether you're taking the over or the under. And then this is important, the PrizePicks line versus the sportsbook line. I'll get into this when I'm talking through the actual plays. And then these last 2 columns are important as well. Percent odds to hit, and then we see odds under the DGF logo here. Basically what's happening here is DGF is calculating their own version of what the lines should be priced at, their own proprietary method, giving you the perfect line for an individual play. These numbers, these odds are based off of where the sportsbooks have things priced, kind of taking a weighted average and giving heavier weight towards the sharp sportsbook. So that's where you see this minus 202. That's where you see it come from. Now, depending on the play that you're playing, sometimes you'll be able to compare odds to all the major sports books. Obviously, with esports, you're not going to have as much action from all the different sports books, but it doesn't make them any less valuable to play. So let's chat about it. Let's chat about these actual plays. So play number 1, we see at the top here, we are taking Fudge to go less than 3 map 1 kills. Player name, Fudge. Stat, map 1 kills, over, under, we're taking the under. The PrizePicks line is 3. So now let's chat about the PrizePicks line versus the sportsbook line. So one thing to understand when you're using PrizePicks is that their lines are going to be different from the sportsbooks. And this is a perfect example of that. PrizePicks is pricing his map 1 kills over under at 3. The sportsbooks are giving this to us at 2.5. That half point, half stat difference, whatever you want to call it, that's massive with numbers as low as 3 and 2.5. That's like, you know, a 33%, 25% difference, depending on how you want to assign probabilities. So the fact that PrizePicks is giving this to us at 3 and the sportsbooks have his over under at 2.5, well, we can inherently assume that the most likely scenario, according to the sportsbooks, is that he's going to go under 3, or else they would have priced it differently. Now, DGF is calculating this, the true line of this, to be at minus 202, giving us a 58.66% chance of hitting, which is really good. Obviously, that's a pretty high percentage. That's what we love to see. So this is play number 1, fudge to go under, 3, map 1 kills. Next up, our second play, Balulu, we're taking an over to go more than, 2, map 1 kills. So all of these are going to be a difference between the PrizePicks line and the sportsbook line, and you can kind of see that here show DFS line discrepancies. That's exactly what this button means. When you have this button selected like I do, it'll provide these examples. If you take this off, it'll take away any example where there's a difference between the PrizePicks line and the sportsbook line. So I recommend always keeping this checked off. But it's the same logic here. PrizePicks has it at 2, the sportsbooks have it at 2.5, so we can inherently assume that the sportsbooks would deem him likely to go over 2, and DGF calculates what those lines are, minus 157 towards the over, giving us a 55.67 chance of hitting. Seems to be the calculated odds for a lot of these, which makes sense because a lot of them are 2 to 2.5 or 2.5 to 2, stuff like that. But this is our second play of the evening. Next up, Cabo Chard, that's a funny name, to go more than 2, map 1 kills. The exact same logic here. PrizePicks has it at 2. The sportsbooks have it at 2.5. And again, one thing I want to make clear is that the lower the numbers get, the more valuable the line discrepancies become. Like, let's pretend you're taking an NFL play, and PrizePicks has Patrick Mahomes passing yards at 300. The sportsbooks have it at 299.5. Well, with numbers that high, that half yard, half point, half stat difference isn't really as valuable, right? Because there's a much wider variety of outcomes. But with numbers as low as this, going from 2 to 2.5 or 3 to 2.5 or 2.5 to 2, whatever it may be, that's a massive, massive deal. So that's why these numbers are giving, I mean, they're such high numbers in terms of likelihood to hit because of how valuable it is with these little line discrepancies, stat differences. So that's play number 3. Play number 4, taking double lift to go less than 3, map 1 kills. So some of these plays I avoided because the games start too early. So if you see me, like I skipped these 2, it's solely because the games start too early, not because there's anything wrong with the plays themselves. So depending on when you're watching this, if these are still available, go ahead and lock them in, but wanted to give this a little bit more runtime. So double lift, this is an example where we're taking an under, where PrizePicks has it at 3, the sportsbook line has it at 2.5. Another play where DGF prices it at minus 157, odds to hit, the percent likelihood of this hitting, 55.67. This is play number 4. Play number 5, and we're going to have 2 more, is Na Kyung to go less than 2.5, map 1 kills. We see this right here. PrizePicks prices it at 2.5. The sportsbook line has it at 2. We're taking him to go under. Same exact odds, minus 157, 55.67% chance of hitting. And last play to round out the 6-leg entry, Linkus to go less than 3, map 1 kills. Same exact logic here. Every single one of these examples is an example of a line discrepancy. Obviously, the more games that we have to choose from, the more examples you'll see of other types of non-line discrepancies where it's considered an odds discrepancy. But for these, all of them are still valuable. Obviously, that's why I'm playing all of them. Linkus to go under 3, map 1 kills. The sportsbook line has it at 2.5, minus 157 odds according to DGF, 55.67% chance of hitting. And there we have it, 6 plays for you guys to lock in. If you are tailing, comment and let us know. Other than that, remember to like the video, subscribe to the DGF YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.